How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my first ToyMonger review in what I hope to be a long series of reviews of various figures, from Storm Collectibles to Mezco to Mafex. I just got into this whole collecting thing and I am in such a rabbit hole. I need to figure out something to do with these figures other than photograph them and display them. So I figured I'm going to start getting these reviews done. Today we are going to go ahead and review the Mezco 112 Gambit. This was really difficult to come by. I got it for a Steel on Mercari, so I had to. It just came in. I'm gonna go ahead and get this done so I can get him reviewed and get this guy paid. So let's go ahead and take it out of the box. Let's see all the things it comes with. Let's go over some articulation. We'll do some size comparisons, and we will get an in-depth review on this figure. Now, I have to say this figure is beautiful. The armor is fantastic. It is going to pretty much negate any sort of ab crunch. He's still got some plastic in there. Let's pull that out. But the soft goods coat, fully wired along this whole thing. It is wired along the edges, so you can get that cool windswept look in his coat. Fully wired up here, so you can get that cool, look he's got with that flying out. Get that Marvel vs. Capcom Gambit flair going. But the armor is really cool. The soft goods pants are fantastic. Every little detail. This is pure modernized nostalgia. It's just so good. His hair looks so good. The pupils, let's see if I can get them in there close enough. Yeah, the pupils are red, black eyes. Now, the coat does come off. I don't really see much reason to take it off, because that is just Gambit. That's his signature thing, is the trench coat. It's got the waistband here, the belt. It's perfect. Now, you can still get perfect T-pose here. Legs go out pretty good. I mean, 90 degrees, that's great. As far as a split goes, you can pretty much take that as far as you really can. There's enough breathing room in the cloth there, and he's good. It's pretty perfect spandex. But you get full neck rotation. There's no hindrance there. You even get that little neck joint flex there. I don't know how well you can see that, but that works perfectly. But yeah, like I said, no type of ab crunch because of this armor. But honestly, I'm not even worried. You get a full, little more than 90 degrees in the elbow. Both elbows there. He's got a good waist joint. So I mean, you're really not missing too much. I don't really know many scenarios where you're going to be needing that crazy ab crunch anyway, unless you're trying to get him kicked in the stomach or something. You want to get him into that kind of pose, but honestly, it's really not that big a deal. So the articulation's pretty great. Even with the soft goods coat, I'm sure it's going to be a lot better even without it. But just the armor details are just so nice. These boots are so good. I am missing the toe hinge, but the ankle articulation's great. You get a nice little ankle rocker there. Pretty good tilt there. The shin guards do hinder that forward ankle pivot, but again, not something I'm missing too much. Backwards gets, it's pretty limited. The leg armor does hinder it, but I do like that the knee guard there is detached to allow for that double jointed knee, and you can get a really sick acute angle on that knee, so you can really get some really cool posing going on with that coat. Get him on a stand and really have him flying down from somewhere, or get a cool little action pose of him jumping, throwing some cards or something with that coat. It's just so cool. So the articulation's pretty generous for such an armored figure and covered, you know, especially with the soft goods trench coat there. But overall, just beautiful figure. We're gonna get into his accessories. Let me get those all out and I will be right back. I gotta say, our guy Remy here is pretty loaded with accessories, and as collectors and just enjoyers of action figures, we are so spoiled by some of these companies. So let me get into it. So we have our open palms here. I find it so sick that he has the gloves with the open pinky and index. We're gonna have our fists here that are open to fit our staff. Get it to focus on that, there we go. And then we're gonna have a left hand that is going to be open for cards. His little, as soon as this wants to focus, there we go. A little pinching hand, and this won't focus, but it's a pinching hand. And that's what we're gonna go, and that's what we're gonna be putting our little card props into. So we have both kinetic energy-fied and non-kinetic energy-fied cards. So we're gonna have a single card, and then we're gonna have a little royal flush here. We're gonna get a hand that is attached to another throwing card effect. So he's got his little kinetic card action going on. We're gonna get a royal flush here that is, again, kinetic-fied, full of energy, and a lot more full of energy than my camera is full focus here. And then we're gonna get a single card that he's gonna be able to just hold and just look generally badass. And then we have this massive effect. Again, left hand, because all the best characters and the best people, no offense right-handers, are left-handed. So we're gonna pop that into his hand, and I can't see this really staying up on its own. I don't think there is a peg of any sort or a hole of any sort to handle a stand, but most of these figures come with stands. I am sure if you are a collector, you're gonna have a ton of these things laying around, and you can just prop that up on a stand. But that does look absolutely insane. 3 cards coming out with all that flame and everywhere. It's gonna be so much fun to photograph that and to Photoshop some flames in there. And then we got a head sculpt. Now, I'm a little torn on this head sculpt. I'm a little torn on this focus too. Here we go. A little torn on this guy. Now, while it does look great, the hair is a little more flowy, I think. I guess it's supposed to be a smirk. It kind of looks like a grimace, like a wince, like he's kind of in pain, like he's got some gas, he's holding in something. Still, while a beautiful sculpt, I still do think that the grin should be a little more grinny. He's way too serious. I also do love the fact that it really does look like Patrick Swayze. I'm into it. I'm so into it. If anybody's gonna play him, I think a young Patrick Swayze would be pretty fantastic. But anyway, yeah, he looks like he's in pain. This might be your face, your head sculpt to use if he's gonna be doing some action shots in a fight while he's taking some damage or something. All in all, still beautiful, but I wish it was a little more smirky, a little more happy or sarcastic looking. Now we have his staff. I don't really remember it being so blue, but I guess it is more of like an anodized look, like a heat-treated kind of deal. It does look very, very nice. I'm sure it's going to look great with him. But that is pretty much all we get in terms of accessories, and I know I sound like I may think that that's not enough. These are great. I can't think of anything else that he could come with. I would have liked another head sculpt, maybe in place of one of these card effects, maybe in place of these, but yeah, another head sculpt with a smile, you know, like a more grinny grin and not so much a painful grimace would have been nice. But this figure is an absolute grail, I feel, because trying to find him for under $200 or even $160 is really difficult, and it's clear to see why. This guy is so fantastically made, despite some of the drawbacks with articulation due to the armor. I'll take it. That armor is beautiful. It's so well designed, it's so well sculpted, it's so well painted. There's not really much to complain about here. He is a bitch to stand up, but I think that's just me. I'm not super experienced with these really articulated figures. I used to not like them as a kid because I used to make them fight, and it was always a pain in the ass when you hit another figure with a punch and his wrist moves and his fingers move and his elbow moves and the wrist joint moves and the bicep swivel moves. Speaking of bicep swivel and just swivel in general, we do get some bicep swivel in there. He's got bicep swivel, even under the soft goods coat. It's great. We got thigh swivel, which works really well. It's a little clunky feeling, but that should warm up with no problem. So yeah, I think overall, an amazing figure. I am going to use some size comparisons. That seems to be the format most of these reviewers that I watch are. Shout out to like D Amazing, Out of the Box Reviews, Anthony's Customs. Those kind of channels are the ones I've been just spamming myself with and binging, just because I like watching them, and I watch them before I buy figures to kind of see, to get a good handle on what to expect when they arrive. But I'm gonna go ahead and do some size comparisons real quick, and we are gonna get this first review done. Alright, so people tend to be really into this stuff, so here we go with some size comparisons. As we see, we got our man Gambit here just looking like a complete badass. So we're gonna go ahead and throw him with a Storm Collectibles Ryu. So as you can see, he is significantly meatier. He also doesn't enjoy standing. Alright, and then we're going to throw him next to a DC or McFarlane Red Hood. And as you can see, he doesn't like standing. Something about that "as you can see" line that I just really can't help saying. Alright, so Gambit fits pretty damn well with a lot of different lines. So we're gonna get him some other Mezco stuff. So right here we have a Mezco Cyclops. Okay, we have a Mezco Wolverine. And that's great because Wolverine is genuinely just always shorter. He's a tiny guy. Continuing with Marvel, we're gonna go with a Marvel Legends Omega Red, who is, of course, taller, but still a decent comparison. All right, we're gonna get him out of here, add him to the stack over here. All right, and then right here we have our man Orochi Iori, another Storm Collectibles immaculate figure. I'm going to probably get a review for him going at some point. Alright, so he fits pretty well with a lot of different lines. The Storm Collectible figures really kind of have their own scale, even though they say that it is 112. It's kind of hard to believe since these Storm figures are so much bigger. But all in all, this figure is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and say that it is my favorite Mezco so far. I really only have the X-Men, and I have a Krieg, and I have our boy Hawk P40, who he was my first, not my first Mezco. Wolverine was my first Mezco. But Hawk P40 is fantastic. You know, same scale, if we're not counting his, you know, luscious L'Oreal Garnier Fructis flowing hair. But he was just so over the top of a character, and I love him so much. He's so cool. He has a freaking head that's a freaking tank. He's just amazing. But anyway, Gambit, yeah, 1000% my favorite Mezco figure. The accessories are amazing. The trench coat is absolutely beautiful, so well made. So I'm definitely going to be getting some really good photos out of him definitely with the whole X-Men team up. We're gonna do some X-Men versus Street Fighter kind of stuff, and I'm really excited. So enjoy the photos after this. And as my first review, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I gotta be like everybody else, I guess. Please like, comment, subscribe, and you know, again, shout out to these channels I love so much: The Amazing, Out of the Box Reviews, Anthony Customs. I just watched a guy, Fwoosh something, I don't know, I forgot his name already, but I'll probably shout him out correctly in the next video. But all these other reviewers, this is so much fun, and to be able to get a following doing this kind of thing just is great. I love immersing myself in the community, and you know, all of you collectors, all of us you know, nerds that are mostly in our 30s. It's just such a tight-knit community, so full of love, and you guys are the best. And again, you know, it would help me a ton. Share it around, and please buy this figure. He's tough to find for a realistic price, but oh my god, is he worth it. The accessories alone are worth it. This trench coat alone is worth it. This hair alone is worth it. Just buy the figure. I'm telling you, just buy it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you around for the next one.